Um, Infinite possibilities and sacred kinship are the message. Um, Throw yourself with total abandon into God, into the very center of the universe, where a sense of the oneness of all life so enters your being that there is no sense of otherness. From Ernest Holmes. The measure of your compassion lies less in our service to those on the margins and more in our willingness to see ourselves in kinship with them. Gregory Boyle. And let's say together, recognizing my kinship with all life, I choose to powerfully create for the good of all. And now, Reverend Kathleen.
Reverend Kathleen, you need to unmute yourself.
There we go. So hello, my friends. This topic this month, open at the top, or actually this year, open at the top, is is such an integral part of what Ernest Holmes teaches. It is a philosophy that is aware that yes, we have a beautiful foundation of truth, new thought, ancient wisdom, that we are standing on, and yet we are keeping ourselves open to illumination, new insights, new understandings, new awarenesses, and therefore we're not a dogma. This is a living, breathing, and alive spirituality that allows us to stay connected and attuned, or encourages us to stay connected and attuned to that presence within and that unfolding nature of our being, that evolutionary process of awakening and opening and understanding and evolving. So, my friends, the today I again am looking at how ancient wisdom or ancestral wisdom from the indigenous peoples of the planet can inform us and take us to a new level of understanding and reverence for all life, that is coupled with or integrated with New Thought, Ancient Wisdom, or Science of Mind. So today, infinite possibilities and sacred kinship. So when we look at infinite possibilities, that's a new thought term. Sacred kinship, that way of integrating something new and more powerful into our spirituality from our the ancestral wisdom of the Native American tribes. So what I wanted to share first is a story by Robin Wall Kimmerer. She's a botanist, a professor, an author, and part of the Potawatomi tribe in the northern part of the United States. And she tells a story of receiving a phone call from her third grade daughter's teacher one night, saying that her daughter was refusing to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The teacher said, "Don't be alarmed. She's not misbehaving or anything. It's just simply a choice, and I thought you might want to know." So there was a very calm to the teacher's voice. So Robin began to recall back when she was young as well, wondering what was a republic and what was that we were pledging our allegiance to, and why are we pledging our allegiance to a flag when we have this beautiful sacred Mother Earth to pledge our allegiance to, or the universe even, or the presence of the Creator. And so she was very much aware that in a couple ridges over from where she lived, there's the Iroquois nation, Iroquois tribe, and in their schools they have their children and recite the following. I'm just going to give you just an excerpt from it. They call this the Thanksgiving address, words that come before all else. So it begins with a leader, sometimes a student leader or a teacher, who starts the address by saying, "Today we have gathered, and when we look upon the faces around us, we see that the cycles of life have continued. We've been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now let us bring our minds together as one, as we greet and thank each other as people. Now our minds are one." And to this, all the students would repeat, "Now our minds are one." It goes on, here's another paragraph. "We are thankful to Mother Earth, for she gives us everything that we need. She supports our feet as we walk upon her. It gives us joy that she still continues to care for us. Mother Earth, we offer thanksgiving and love and respect. Now our minds are one." To which the students repeat, "Now our minds are one." And the address continues, thanking the waters of the world and all of its forms, waterfalls, rivers, rain, snow, and ice. And after each one, "Now our minds are one," thanking the plants, the berries, the trees, the medicinal herbs, the maple as the leader of all trees, and on to the land animals, the fish, the birds, especially the eagle, who's the leader of all birds. And after each paragraph, "Now our minds are one." So say that with me. Now our minds are one. There's a great reverence and respect for Mother Earth and all of her creatures. Then there's a portion of it where they are reminded that leadership is rooted not in power and authority, but in service and wisdom. And finally, they thank the four winds, Brother Sun, Grandmother Moon, the enlightened teachers throughout the ages, and our Creator. Now our minds are one. Repeat that. Now our minds are one. So the Potawatomi worldview includes Mother Earth and all creatures, even the stars, even the universe, in a sacred kinship that is bound together in a web of relationship and a web of reciprocity, meaning giving and receiving from each other. So gratitude and reciprocity, that idea of giving back, are practiced in their daily lives, in their various ceremonies, honoring the responsibilities that we have to all relations in the universe. So can you imagine, just a moment, I'd like you to imagine what it would be like to have been raised on gratitude, respect, reverence for Mother Earth and all of her inhabitants, and also raised on the awareness of the importance of giving back from that place of gratitude. Take a moment and contemplate what that would have been like to have been raised in that way. What are you sensing? And it's not too late. And that's what these messages are all about this month and this year, is being open at the top and adopting some of these beautiful ways of being that we can learn from each other, from other world religions, other world spiritual traditions, in order to enrich our lives and to enter into a deeper relationship with the divine within ourselves and with all life. So now let's take a look at this idea of creating from infinite possibilities with this deep sense of interconnection and this deep sense of sacred kinship with all life. Ernest Holmes echoes this beautiful message of oneness and love for all when he writes, "To love God and to love our neighbors as ourselves means to see God in everything." Everything. He didn't say everything. He said everyone only. He says everything. And to include everyone in one divine unity. So there it is. It's there. It's in Ernest Holmes' teachings. He taught that each individual is an incarnation of God, a unique center of divine Christ consciousness, love consciousness. When we see God in every person, what happens is that love flows more freely in our hearts, and we naturally cultivate relationships that are built on respect and compassion and reciprocity, and we often use the term service, being in service to all. We care for one another's well-being, and the Indigenous wisdom reminds us that to extend that sacred kinship and bring loving care to all forms of life. So again, let us remember when we are using spiritual principles to see God in everyone and everything. So, Science of Mind again teaches us to recognize that we're divine, that we are powerful co-creators, that we are limited only by the boundaries of our beliefs. That's why we keep letting go of limiting beliefs with our spiritual practices. We are reminded that we are surrounded by infinite love, infinite possibilities, and all-powerful law that we get to use for good. So integrating ancestral wisdom of sacred kinship with creating from infinite possibilities opens our hearts not only to love for all creation, but to amazing creative solutions for every issue that we face on this planet. It empowers us to see ourselves as full participants in creation of that which is new and good and true and beautiful. So let us embrace these beautiful practices of gratefulness. Some of us have already, when we write down our gratitude, or maybe we feel grateful throughout the day for different things. But let us up-level this practice of gratefulness to include all beings. And let us practice reciprocity with a new awareness that we have been given so much by the Creator and by all of these beings in creation, that it is our responsibility to give back. It is a way to respond that keeps our heart open. And so let us then serve and uplift the whole, our entire sacred kinship, and be conscious participants in co-creating more love, more peace, more joy, more dignity for all life. And so this week, this is what I am encouraging you to consider, is to bring these concepts of oneness, kinship, gratitude, reciprocity, reverence into simple actions. Maybe just take one simple action, but here are some ideas that I'm offering. So each morning, thanking 3 of your sacred kin. So a person, a plant, an animal, a mineral, the Creator itself. And that's practicing gratitude, to practice reciprocity, support a cause that uplifts your community, the environment, whatever way in which you would like to serve. And then, this is really important, at the end of the day, acknowledge, how have my actions contributed to the well-being of the whole? So let's breathe and turn in to our hearts, our inner sanctuary, in prayer. So with a heart full of deep gratefulness and deep reverence, deep awe and deep wonder at this miracle of life, I am reminded that this one life, this infinite universal presence, the Creator itself, is here for us, here as the presence of love, and that we are individualizations of that Creator. We carry the God seed with us, and therefore we are empowered to participate in creation. I am knowing, therefore, that that participation is done with mindfulness, with consciousness, with awareness, with a deep sense of reverence, and a deep understanding of our interconnection with all of life, our sacred kinship with every plant, animal, person, mineral, with Mother Earth herself. A deep sense of connection that spurs us on to offer our gifts and our talents in service, in reciprocity to all of life. Understanding this beautiful circle of life, this giving and receiving, is that which sustains every part of creation and brings new life and freshness to it in each and every moment. We have the power to do this. I'm knowing that each one of us is now more awake, aware, and alive to this truth of sacred kinship. And so with this beautiful sense of love in our hearts, appreciation, I release this word to the action of universal law, the law that law or creative medium that surrounds us and takes the impress of our thoughts and brings it into manifestation. And all that we need add to that is a deep and abiding faith that it is done. So just say that after me. It is done, and so it is. Amen. All right, and so I pass this now back to Deb.
Thank you, Reverend Kathleen.